Oh man, well, no sleep. So you're running on fumes first and foremost, but you're trying to cover every situation, and you also understand that they're preparing as well. So you got to not only prepare for what you see, but for what you don't see, making sure that you're smart with your practice plan, because over the course of a normal game week, you have specific areas of the game plan that you work on different days of the week. Where you lose, a practice and a half, so to speak. So you got to figure out a way to get your base stuff done, all your situational stuff, and then also have opportunities to prepare for the unexpected.
With the competition level rising a little bit, do you change the way you handle the backs as far as reps in practice? Because a guy like Allman may get 2, 4, or 5 more carries if he plays entire game type thing. You change the way you do the reps?
No, in practice I won't change the reps because I think it's important that all those guys are getting reps so that they're prepared to play. And then you also challenge Wayne in a situation if you're not getting as many reps because everybody else is getting those reps, you got to take mental reps. But I think as it goes forward, you want to be in a situation if he gets the hot hand, then you want to ride with him. But then you also got to have those guys prepared that if something happens, they got to be ready to go in and keep up the same level of play. So I won't change the reps in practice, but I'll challenge them all to make sure that even though you may not get as many reps in the game, make sure you're managing and taking advantage of your practice reps so that you're prepared for more game reps if it comes.
Would you prefer to use lesser backs in this game or just game flow?
I think it's going to depend on game flow. I think this is going to be a physical, tough game. I think those guys are going to have to run hard. I think the game is going to come down to who wins the line of scrimmage. And so it's going to be a tough physical game. And so, if Wayne is seeing it, and he's disciplined with his eyes, then you got to let him roll. But I got to find a guy that's just like last year. It ended up being Choice. Late in the game, Wayne started the game last year, and then Choice finished it off because Choice got hot. Choice was finding the runs. He was playing physical. So I think it's a situation we'll start with Wayne because I think he's earned that. And then just depending upon how he plays will determine how the rest of the guys get their opportunity.
Coach, you're 2 weeks in. Is there anybody that's making a move up the depth chart, whether it's from third team to second team or second team to first team, whether it's quarterback, offensive line, or receiver?
I think Guillermo is pushing Norton at the center position, and at the running back spot. Now with Zach being back, and ready to roll, I'm seeing him kind of push towards the front. At the tight end position, it's about kind of how it's been with Leggett at the top and the rest of those guys chasing him. And then at the wideout spot, really just trying to get Dion to come along. I think he's very, very talented, but with the transition from going from quarterback to receiver, it's taking a little bit longer than we would want, but it's right on track if that makes sense to you. Continue to push Ray because I think Ray's a guy that can push for more snaps to help Artavis. Because again, if you got a good 1-2 combo at that 2-man position with as much as we do, that makes you very explosive. So I think those are the ones that are pushing the most probably.
Coach, bad snaps seem to be a bit of a chronic issue the first couple games. I think there were 3 on Saturday and a couple in the first game. Norton seemed to be great with his snaps after the Florida State game last year.
Right.
Is there anything specific from a technical standpoint that needs to be corrected on that going into a noisy environment like Louisville?
I don't think so. And I think the first snap, in fairness to Falsinelli, that was his first game playing center. The one that was over the head, I think that was him that snapped it over the head. And then Norton was off a little bit to the right throughout the course of the game. And then we did have the one overhead. But, nothing to panic about. We went back out and challenged those guys, and the snaps were good yesterday. And the big thing is, just like I said after the game, is it's like shooting a jump shot. Make sure it's the same every single time. But I don't think there's a technical issue to worry about. But we understand that how significant it is that you got to get that snap right every time because of the timing of our offense.
This will be the first, I guess, true test, more or less, for Mitch. Anything different, way to approach it when you guys are with him?
I don't think so, because I think his biggest test was fall camp with Kevin Dodd and Shaq Lawson, and I think these guys are going to challenge very, very good players, but I don't know if he'll see anything that he hasn't seen, on the practice field. Now he'll have to be locked in and ready to play, because those guys are going to challenge him because they know he's a young guy, but nothing different from our approach in terms of how we get Mitch prepared, because he's been battle tested throughout camp with the guys he goes against every day.
How's Kelly's nose?
I haven't heard anything in terms of a break or anything. Heard he was fine. I'm sure we'll get an update, but he was out there at practice yesterday. Didn't see any issues.
Is he getting closer to number 2 on the depth chart?
I think he's pushing. And the key is to find situations to play him in the game. because again, you earn reps in practice, but then also the game flow is when at that position it's tough to play 3 guys in a game. But I think he's getting close. He's pushing. You can see how dynamic he is with the ball, but it's just finding opportunities to play him in the game for him to really make a push.